amino acids, isn't it? So we studied that if we are having an amino acid with structure, amino acid which is in acidic form and basic form or neutral form, depending on the pH of the solution. So this high pH value means this value will change from amino acid to amino acid. Now, if I consider, there is a term that you need to know that's called Zwitterion. What do we mean by the word Zwitterion? Zwitterion is a form of acid which exists both in the acid as well as basic condition. So we call that type of condition as ampholytic condition. When a molecule acts as base as well as acid. So if I am considering the structure of Zwitterion, it will be like this. RCH C double bond O minus, and this will act as a base. So at isoelectric pH, amino acid has no charge present in it. That is this structure. If you lower down the pH less than its isoelectric pH, it will show the basic structure. If we increase the pH more than the isoelectric pH, it will exist as a acid. So the value of isoelectric pH differ from amino acid to amino acid. Is this part clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So now we will look up into the different types of amino acid that is present for formation of the proteins. Let us have a look. Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Completely visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the different types of amino acids possible. That is called 20 amino acids. You don't have to remember their structures at all. They are never asked in examination. Only you should know the types. These are called non-polar amino acid with aliphatic R group. Aliphatic means they have hydrocarbon chains. You can see the upper part is same in every amino acid. That is CHO, CO, NH2 or NH3 plus CO minus H. It is same for every amino acid present here. I was mentioning about R group. So R group in case of glycine is H. In alanine it is CH3. In valine it is CH, CH3, CH3. This is how the R group will change. So these 6 amino acids which are called glycine, alanine, valine, leucine, methionine and isoleucine. All of them are falling under the types of amino acid that is non-polar aliphatic R group. Clear why we call them non-polar aliphatic? Do you know what is polar and non-polar? Have you still studied in chemistry?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Polar means head side and non-polar means tail side.
No, nothing like that, beta. In chemistry, it carries a different meaning. Polar compounds are something around which, or polar molecules are something around which the distribution of electron is not uniform. एक तरफ इलेक्ट्रॉन थोड़े ज्यादा होते हैं, दूसरी तरफ थोड़ा कम होता है. So there is inequality in distribution of electrons. So we call them polar, and if there is equal distribution, we call them non-polar. You will learn about this in chemical bonding chapter. Now, next type is, as this is non-polar aliphatic amino acid. Now, let's see that polar amino acids, how they are. So, these are polar amino acids. You can see in this case also presence of these groups are there. Proline is not in true sense a amino acid. Why? It doesn't have NH3 present in it or NH2 present in it. Why? Because the chain present in the carbon is getting bounded to form a ring structure. That's why proline many a times is known as a amino acid. It is known as an amino acid. Instead of amino, it is known as an amino acid. The screen is visible.
Ma'am, it turned. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait for a moment. Huh? So this is known as amino acid. IMIN. Now, these are polar compounds with uncharged R groups. So they are having uncharged R groups. There may be polar compounds with charged R groups. This can be positively charged or negatively charged R groups. Positively charged R groups, you can see here, lysine, arginine, and histidine. They are generally basic in nature, whereas negatively charged R group are having two acidic group present in them, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So they are acidic in nature. Okay, and here in this you can see that two basic groups are there. I guess the annotation on the screen is visible to all of you, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, these amino acids are known as aromatic amino acid. Why aromatic? Because you can see that the ring structure is present in it. Can you see? So this is how amino acids can be classified. The 20 amino acids can be classified as non-polar aliphatic, aromatic amino acids, and then polar uncharged amino acid and polar charged amino acids can be classified as positively charged amino acids and negatively charged amino acids. Is this part clear to everyone? Class?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So, A few extra things I wish to share with you people. Out of these amino acids that is present here, let me share the screen once again. Which one do you think is the most lightest? सबसे हल्का कौन सा होगा जिसकी मॉलिक्यूलर वेट जो सबसे छोटा दिखता है? The one which is most simple. You can see the screen. Which one is the most simple?
Negatively charged.
No. You are not looking into it. Which one is the most simple one?
Ma'am, aromatic.
You cannot see glycine over here. You cannot see this amino acid.
Ma'am, I said it.
Okay, you are not audible, beta sir. It's glycine. You think this structure is smaller than this structure? This aromatic amino acids or negatively charged amino acid is smaller than this?
No, ma'am.
Now, I told you already that proline is known as amino acid. Another thing I wish to say here, the heaviest amino acid is this one, tryptophan. So this information you should know that the most light amino acid is glycine and the heaviest one is tryptophan, and obviously the two amino acids are there which are isomers of each other. Can you identify? From their name also you can identify if you are wise enough.
Ma'am, glutamine and glutamate.
No. To be them isomer, they should have same chemical formula with them.
Ma'am, alanine and valine.
Do they have same chemical formula? The number of atoms present in them are same.
Ma'am, leucine and isoleucine.
Very correct. It is leucine and isoleucine. So that's all from my side regarding amino acids. Anyone, any doubt, beta? So we successfully completed the part amino acid. Now I want to, before we go for peptide bond formation, I just wish to share the way I told you about essential fatty acids yesterday. Do you remember what do we mean by essential fatty acids? I talked about it yesterday, that these are essential fatty acids. What do we mean by this word essential fatty acids? What are the essential fatty acids?
Ma'am,
Class?
omega-3.
Ma'am, omega-3 and
So why they are called essential? Why we use this word essential fatty acids? क्या है उनमें जो उनको essential बना देता है हमारे वर्क के लिए?
Ma'am, our body cannot make it again.
Very good, beta. We cannot produce it inside our body, so we are solely dependent on food for these amino acids. That's why we call them essential amino acids. Okay. Similar here, essential amino acid, fatty acids are also essential. Here, these are essential amino acids: methionine, threonine, tryptophan, valine, leucine, phenylalanine, lysine, histidine, isoleucine. I remember
Ma'am?
it. Yes, beta.
मैम वेलाइन तो अमाइनो एसिड का भी नाम, अरे हाँ अमाइनो एसिड का भी नाम.
Yes, beta.
No मैम नथिंग, सॉरी.
Confusion. Understood. Too many new names. It's like you are meeting with 1,000 people in a very short span. होता है.
मैम
Yes, beta.
ये सारे अमीनो एसिड्स के जो स्ट्रक्चर है, चेन स्ट्रक्चर्स, वो सारा हमें मतलब प्रिपेयर करना है.
मैंने शुरू करते वक्त ही बोला था कि नहीं करना है. I mentioned in the class that you don't have to remember the structures. You don't have to remember any of the structures till date I taught. Just to have a basic idea, no one will tell you to draw the structure. You should know them so that you know what type of bond they make. It will give you a better understanding. That's all. So now we will move ahead. With the formation of peptide bond. So how and why peptide bond is formed? So if like we have an amino acid, let me draw it this way. Another amino acid is there. So what will happen? Water molecule is removed and there will be creation of a bond between these structures, which is known as peptide bond. This structure will be known as peptide bond structure. That means what will be the scenario? This carbon will be directly in contact with the nitrogen. And this covalent bond is known as peptide bond. Can you tell me what is common between ester linkage of lipid and peptide bond of protein and glycoside linkage? What is common in them?
मैम रिमूवल ऑफ H2.
Yes. That is removal of H2. Now consider the situation that obviously one or two amino acids, many such amino acids will be connected with others to form a peptide bond. I am giving just example of a single one. The last amino acid present in the chain, this is the last amino acid present in the chain, will have free COH structure, isn't it? उसके साथ bond बनाने के लिए कोई नहीं है. Yes or no?
Yes मैम.
Similarly, the last amino acid of this side will have a free NH2 structure present in it. So this is known as amino terminal. And इसके बीच में जो भी chain बनता है जिसमें amino acids are connected with each other, we call this chain as a पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन। वाई पॉलीपेप्टाइड? क्योंकि बहुत सारे पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड के द्वारा यहाँ पे अमीनो एसिड्स एक दूसरे से अटैच रहता है। दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल इट पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन। नाउ इसकी जिस तरफ सिर्फ एक फ्री NH2 रहेगा, that is known as amino terminal of the polypeptide chain, और जिस तरफ एक फ्री COOH रहेगा, that is known as carboxy terminal of the polypeptide chain. Is this clear? जैसे इसको हम बोल सकते हैं, we call this tripeptide. Why tripeptide? Can anyone tell me why this structure is known as tripeptide?
It has 3 peptide bonds.
Is it have tripeptide bond? Look into it and tell me.
When there are 3 R formations.
Yes. There are 3 amino acids connected by peptide bond. That's why we call it tripeptide structure. Understood? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we will learn about the types of protein. The way lipid can be simple and conjugated, proteins can also be simple protein. What do we mean by simple protein? Can anyone raise?
Ma'am, it may have only amino acid.
Yes, Parviz Bichara is raising hand and everyone is answering without raising hand. So how he will answer? Kindly raise your hand and speak so that everyone get chance to speak. No? So simple proteins have only amino acids present in them. What are the example? For example, collagen present in our body. You know, have you ever heard about collagen?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Collagen fibers are fibers. They are present in our tissues like ligament and tendon, and they are providing it tensile state. Have you ever heard about keratin protein?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is it, keratin protein?
The protein required for hair.
It is present in the hair. Once again, I will request people to speak by raising hand. Otherwise, there will be no discipline in the class. So, keratin is a protein present not only in hand, it is present in our nails also. So, example of egg protein, that is albumin, globulin, keratin, collagen, and wheat is having a specific protein called gluten protein. Then the histone, which is around which the DNA is coiled. All of them are simple protein. Okay. Now, what are conjugated proteins? Conjugated proteins means something else will be there.
Protein
along
plus
with the-
something else.
Yes, yes. For example, what do we mean?
Lipoproteins.
Yes. Anything else?
Glycoprotein.
Very good.
मैम
Yes, beta.
मैम हिस्टोन्स नहीं आ सकता कंजुगेशन प्रोटीन्स में?
Conjugation, sorry. This will be conjugated protein.
हाँ तो
So
मैम
histone is a simple protein. It is made up of only amino acid. How can it come under conjugated protein? Anything else? Anyone? Now let
Ma'am,
me.
nucleoprotein.
Very good.
hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin is made up of only amino acids. It is amino acids plus something else is there. We cannot call it simple protein, but it is what type of protein? And what do you suggest? Yes, Kushi.
Phosphoprotein.
Phosphoprotein. I can see participants raising hand. Yes, Rutu.
मैम हमारा डीएनए 8.5% नॉन हिस्टोन प्रोटीन से बना हुआ होता है। तो मैम वो नॉन हिस्टोन प्रोटीन्स में कौन से प्रोटीन्स होते हैं?
कौन से? You want the names of proteins? There are several proteins which are grouped under non-histone proteins.
Ma'am, can you say one or two?
Yes, there will be DNA polymerase, RNA polymerase, that is primase. There will be several factors like single-stranded binding proteins and all.
Okay.
They are always associated with them. So
Okay.
I can see hands raised. Yes, Ayushi.
Ma'am, you were saying something about hemoglobin that it is not simple then.
It is not simple protein. I will come to hemoglobin. Let me first talk about the nucleoprotein. So nucleoprotein means DNA plus protein or RNA plus protein. So that's why histone is not a conjugated protein. When RNA or DNA is added to it, then together they will be the conjugated protein. Okay. Next, there can be chromoprotein. What do you mean by this chromoprotein? Chromoprotein means pigment plus protein. So they have color plus protein. Now you were talking about hemoglobin, no? It can be called as a chromoprotein also. It can be called as a metalloprotein also. Okay, both of them is applicable to them because in case of hemoglobin or hemocyanin, which is the blue colored pigment present in prawns and others, that's why their blood color is not red. And cytochrome, which is helpful for during the process of respiration and photosynthesis. All these can be considered as a chromoprotein as well as metalloprotein because they have the metal part also present in them. Okay, but there are some proteins like visual protein purple. You know, in our eyes there is retina. There is a layer called retina in which the image is formed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that retina is
Yes,
having
ma'am.
various proteins which are actually sensitive to the these are sensitive to the light. These proteins are coming under chromoprotein part. Next, someone of you told about the phosphoprotein. I told we will talk later. Very simple. It will be equal to phosphate plus protein. Where is it present? It is present in the milk. In milk, there is a protein called casein. This protein is example of phosphoprotein. Now, there are metalloprotein also. As I told you, hemoglobin is following under growth. Which has metal plus protein. For example, there is a protein called ferritin, which has iron present in it. So it's example of metalloprotein. And apart from that, there can be another last type of protein that is called derived protein. So what do we mean by derived protein? Derived proteins are like some proteins which are formed by breakage of the big proteins. So when big proteins are broken up, they will be divided into small polypeptide structures. This is called derived. They are also protein. You can call them protein because they have polypeptide bond present in them. So we call them derived protein because they are obtained from breakdown of the big proteins. So is this part clear to everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Class?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you people hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Lot of things. We studied about what is protein. Then we studied types of amino acids. We studied how amino acids are connected with each other to form peptide structure, that is polypeptide structure. And then we studied about different types of amino acids, and we studied about different types of proteins. So in such a long discussion, is there any part which is not understood by you people, Beta?
No, ma'am.
So it's really great pleasure. So tomorrow what we are going to study? We are going to finish with the structure of protein. We said that amino acids connect with each other to form a polypeptide chain. But do you think such big long chains are present in the cell and they occupy less space? No. These long chains are folded and folded to give a 3D structure to the protein. So how that chains are folding into a structure of protein, which is a functional structure, that we are going to study. That is the level of structural organization of protein, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. Apart from that, we will learn about the different shapes of protein. They can be fibrous, they can be globular, all these things we are going to learn tomorrow in the structure of protein. And then tomorrow itself we will start with the nucleic acid structure. So anything else from anyone's side?